I know a lot of you have been complaining that what is going on in Africa? See, the president of Gabon, Ali Bongo, was recently overthrown. A lot of you might just say, is it because it happened in Niger? That's why it's happening in Gabon and it will continue to happen. Yes, but that is not the real fact. The real fact is that this president, which is you are seeing, this handicapped president that you are seeing right now, has been in power for good 14 years. He came into power 2009, not because they elected him. His father, who ruled for that country for about 43 years, passed away. Then automatically he forced his way to become president to inherit the family lineage, because the presidency was not meant for other people in the country. It was just like inheritance for this family of Ali Bongo. He was in power for good 14 years, and just recently, after they conducted a free fair election, this man also did what Tinubu did in Nigeria, forced his way in to become president for the third tenure. Then the military had enough of it, and they took over office. Just as you are seeing, most of these African countries that just want to remain in power, and ECOWAS refuse to talk about it, the African Union refused to talk about it, military coup will continue to help them to talk about it. Anyway, I don't want to explain or emphasize so much why they were coup d'etat in Gabon. Let's watch this particular video of our Rise TV News on how the presenters analyzed the whole issue together. We'll be right back to do some messages.
Start this morning with news out of Gabon, as 12 Gabonese soldiers have appeared on television saying that they are in control of the country. They have also announced that they are cancelling the results of the country's recent election and dissolving all the institutions of the republic. It comes hours after Gabon's electoral body announced President Ali Bongo, who had been re-elected for his third term in Saturday's general election. He's said to have won with 64% of votes cast. Mr. Bongo's reappointment would have continued the family's 56-year grip on power of the resource-rich but poverty-hit nation. His father, Omar Bongo, was its president from 1967 until his death in 2009.
In the name of the people of Gabon and as guarantors of the institutions, we have decided to defend peace by putting an end to the current regime. To this end, the general elections of August 26, 2023 and the truncated results are cancelled. The borders are closed until further notice. All the institutions of the Republic are dissolved.
Toutes les institutions de la République sont dissoutes.
Well, Kay, another coup in Africa, following shortly after the Niger coup happening in West Africa. Now, this is in Central Africa, Gabon.
Yeah, you've given the stats, a country that is just about 2.34 million, 2,341,000. That's the estimated population as at 2021. A very small country, but one that has some resources that should make it a nation that is thriving. But when you have one family run a nation like it's their family property, it is difficult to not hail the military from coming into power. But like my dear friend and colleague here, Rufai, said, you can't have illegality take over illegality. It's not done. Yes, it is not done. It is absolutely wrong to have coups anywhere on the continent of Africa, and we have to criticize it, we have to rebuke it, we have to chastise it, we have to say it is wrong. It can never be right on under any condition. But there are certain situations that make you begin to wonder whether this is a reason, or maybe it's not, but I think it is a reason to listen to what the likes of George Weah, the president of Liberia, what he is saying. He's saying that Africa must listen to its people. Africa must look at action to be taken against those sit-tight leaders. How can one family choose to be in charge of a nation, run it to the ground, and then step on it and scrub their feet and trash it to nonsense? How can one family do that? One family for almost 60 years. This young Mr. Bongo, who's really not young, 64 years old, who's not now been pushed out of office, wants a third term. He's been there for more than 12 years. He wants a third term to keep him there. 2009 till now, that's about 13 years that he's been in office. And he still wants to remain in office. He's probably grooming his son and his daughter to become the next president and prime minister of the country and become the ministers as well. So it's just, it doesn't make any sense. So two clear things. Number one, coup is wrong. It should never be allowed and encouraged in Africa. But at the same time, African leaders, starting from our own dear nation, the largest black nation on earth, Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, responsibility and weight of being an African leader is on your shoulder. You are the only one that's being invited for a side meeting with President Biden. You have to make it clear that every leader on the continent of Africa that chooses to sit tight and turn a nation into their family business must be kicked out of office, legally or illegally, by every means possible. They have to be kicked out. And you have to look at how we make Africa better. So, Rufai and Ayo,
yeah.
I think I've said my piece.
Rufai.
Ayo, today words fail me. When you take a snapshot of our beautiful continent, the beauty is fading away because of the madness of its leaders. The beauty of Africa is fading away because people that are supposed to be proudly Africa, that are supposed to call on Mama Africa every time to bring peace and succor to its people, are the ones taking the peace away from its people. The beauty of Africa is fading away. And I ask, where is Africa today? All over Africa, we have returned to the era of coups. Between 1957 and 1990, we had over 100 coups in Africa. In the space of a couple of months now, we've had 2 coups. The question is, where is it going to happen next on the African continent? What starts the cycle of all these coups? Bad leadership. But like I always say, you can't solve illegality with another illegality. Because the truth is, you just set up a chain reaction. So with this, I would like to condemn that coup this morning in Gabon. I would also condemn Ali Bongo, the sit-tight president of Gabon, that inherited the presidency like it's a family stew from his father, Omar Bongo. Despite the wealth and the oil resource in Gabon, never provided anything for the citizens, but provided all for themselves. Despite his own ill health, we all saw when Ali Bongo had a stroke and he had to move around in a gingerly form, but he still went ahead to sit tight in power. And that's what you see all over Africa. Should I talk about Bouteflika? Should I talk about Emerson Mnangagwa? That now he's won another election that are highly disputed in Zimbabwe. Ali Bongo pushed himself on and on. He finally won the election, but the coup plotters said, no, we can't allow this to continue in our country. When are we going to have that Africa that Thomas Isodowe Noel Sankara talks about? When are we going to have that Africa that Thomas Sankara will always say, la colonialism, abar, imperialism, abar, down with imperialism, down with colonialism, down with coups, bad leadership, abar. When are we going to have that Africa? That sweet Africa. That bad leadership, imperialism, colonialism, everything bad will be a thing of the past. Today I cry for Africa, but I hope I don't cry too long.
Do you know that most of these French colonialist countries, that their president is either having health issues, some are on wheelchairs, some are handicapped, some have a lot of serious health issues because they have been in power, and the France country, which is French, the France country refused them to leave office because all they are doing in that particular office is to help to benefit the country, France. Every resources that is going out of the country in Africa, most French-speaking countries, are going directed to France. And do you know that 80% of those countries that are being colonized by France in Africa, most of them don't have say over their own currency. France tell them how much you are supposed to print, and even their own currency is not safe in their country bank, is safe in France bank. Whenever they need money, they have to take excuse for France France go to their country, take all their resources without any benefit. That's why the France will have to keep on making sure that this particular president who have been bidden to their own need will remain in office. And we thank God for the military. And this is very a disaster to the country, France economy, because all their resources, everything France owns, all their wealth is coming from Africa. So the only thing that I'm saying, if you have a brother in Europe, especially in the country France, tell them to relocate to, because they are coming. You see all the money that they send to give una. Let me not emphasize so much, but let's go to the other part of it. Do you know that almost 80% of this Africa French colonist country, their president are sick? Just like this particular one, this Ali Bongo, is an handicap. He don't want to stay home. And the other one now, just during their national anthem, president, they urinate. Disgrace. He couldn't even hold his urine. He was urinating. The other one is on wheelchair. It's just like that. Many of them can't even think of one or two things to do for their personal, like, okay, I'm holding off, let me relax. No, the France will want them to remain in office. That's why most of African country, it is hard before you get a healthy president in that country. Because they know once you are healthy, you don't need their head. You don't run to their country for medical attention. You don't run to their country to seek for help. That's why they want a sick person to be in that office, so that by the time you come, they felt like they're going to give you the best doctor in their countries and all that. That's the biggest problem in Africa. And most of these citizens that are they are not voting them because those people are stealing power. It happened in my country. It happened in my country. So I can say, because what we vote was different from what we got. So anyway, what do you guys think about this military coup that just happened in Gabon and Niger and Burkina Faso and the rest? So let's talk about this recent one, the Niger and Gabon. So what are the ECOWAS going to do? Are they not going to split their soldiers? One to go to Niger, the other one to go to Gabon. But that the Niger give 48 hours ultimatum to the French ambassador in their country to leave. But the France order their ambassadors to remain, that don't go, because the France know what they are going to miss in that country. So they are trying to push Niger to go to war. Maybe they will go and fight. The military will go out there and start shooting. There, they will not have full force to send down their military to restate the military coup, and that's what they are planning. But thank God for the ideas and the intelligence of the soldiers. They refuse to fight. But what they are not doing, diplomatically, they cut off the electricity that is giving the French embassy light. They also cut out the water supply. So this is how they're going to fight it. So they have to address their own citizens. Look at what is going on. The France don't want to leave because they know this. So they allow their own citizens to do the thing. So the France cannot send in their military to start shooting citizens. All they'll be waiting for is just the military to do anyhow. So that's they're sending the helicopter, chopper, and so we are trying to save our citizens. We are trying to save our ambassadors in their countries. That's why our military tank and everything is there. But those soldiers are wise. They refuse. They refuse to shoot one gun on her. So, what do you guys think? We want to hear from you in the comment section. What is your point about this Gabonese president who have been in power? His father ruled for good 40-something years. Him too have been in power for 14 years, and he's just recently forced his way to win a third term, which is going to remain in power till he complete 21 years in power. Man, this is too much in Africa. So anyway, thank you guys for watching this video to this very moment. Until we meet again, please stay tuned. There are a lot of videos coming on this platform. If you have not subscribed, please do. If you do, turn on your notification bell so that you wouldn't miss out any of our official uploads. Until we meet again, stay tuned, Plan B TV. We love you. Remember, God love you more. Peace out.
Don't forget to subscribe to get notified. And as you they share your support, now say God bless you too.
Dance on the beat.
Plan B TV, Plan B TV, Plan B TV. Oh, Plan B TV, Plan B TV. Plan B TV. Plan B TV.